Yesterday, I was at the coffee shop
Yeah.
waiting in line,
Oh, yeah.
and I saw my coworker
Mm-hmm.
get one of those fancy coffees,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with all the like swirls and the sprinkles on top.
Okay, those are nice.
It must have been at least $7.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it just got me thinking about like, when does a little treat turn into like a money drain?
That's a really good point. Yeah, it's easy to just be like, oh, it's just a coffee, but like
Yeah.
you said, those little things really add up.
Yeah. Like I make my coffee at home,
Yeah.
and it costs me like pennies compared to that.
Oh, for sure.
I bet I save like at least $150 a month just by doing that.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could do with an extra $150 a month.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think I started using a spending tracker app a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really helpful to kind of see like where your money goes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's surprising.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much those small purchases can add up.
Oh, yeah. I tried that for a little bit too,
Yeah.
and I was like shocked at how much I was spending on like takeout food
Oh, yeah.
just because I didn't want to cook.
I know. It's so easy
Tricky.
to fall into those habits
Totally.
without realizing it. But when you see it right there in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I should rethink this.
Yeah, or like even just like being more mindful. Like I know sometimes I'll like want to buy something
Yeah.
and I'll make myself wait 24 hours.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Before I actually like do it.
I like that.
Just to make sure it's something I really want
Yeah.
and not just like an impulse.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that saying, sleep on it. It
Yeah.
gives you time to think it over. Is this something I really need?
Yeah. And then most of the time I wake up the next day and I'm like, you know what? I don't really need that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because like while we're talking about saving money.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have this like little trick that I do. I call it my happiness jar.
Oh, tell me about this.
So like whenever I want to buy something that I don't really need,
Okay.
I put the money that I would have spent into this jar.
Okay.
And then when it's full, I use it for something fun, like a trip or like a special experience.
Oh, I love that.
It's kind of a way to like reward myself
Yeah.
for saving money.
That's like turning saving into a game almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then you have something to look forward to.
Right. And it makes it less about like deprivation
Yeah.
and
right.
more about working towards something exciting.
Exactly. It's like delayed gratification,
Yeah.
which can be tough.
It can be tough. Yeah.
But then it feels so good when you finally get to enjoy it.
Yes, exactly.
Makes it more special.
Totally. And speaking of special, I think it's important to remember that happiness isn't always about spending money.
Right.
Sometimes the best things in life are free. Like spending time with friends and family, or like going for a walk in the park.
Yes. I was feeling really stressed the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I just took it like a break. Went for a walk in the park near my office. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah,
Being outside just totally changed my mood.
I love that. Sometimes we just need to like step away
Yeah.
and appreciate those simple things.
Yeah. And it really doesn't have to be anything fancy.
No.
Even just like, sitting outside for a few minutes, like listening to the birds. It
Absolutely.
can make a big difference.
Just being present in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like the world is constantly telling us to buy more,
Yeah.
do more, be more.
Mm.
But sometimes happiness is just slowing down
Yeah.
and appreciating what we already have.
So true. The other day,
Yeah.
I was like tempted to buy this really cute sweater.
Oh, yeah.
It was on sale. But then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have a closet full of clothes I barely even wear. And I realized like buying another sweater is not going to make me any happier.
Right. That's a great example of how we think that buying things will make us happy.
Mhm.
But often it's the experiences we have and the connections we make with other people
Yeah.
that really make us happy.
You are so right. Like I am saving up for a trip to Italy right now. And I am so excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's not even just about the destination. It's about like the anticipation
Yeah.
and thinking about like the memories I'm going to make
Mm-hmm.
and the things I'm going to experience.
Yeah, and those memories will stay with you
Yeah,
long after the trip is over.
certainly.
It's about investing in experiences that enrich your life.
Exactly. So it's not that like buying things is bad.
No, not at all.
It's just about making sure that those purchases are like aligned with your values
Right.
and are things that will actually like bring you joy.
Exactly. And sometimes the things that bring us the most joy are the simple things.
Yeah.
The affordable things. Like for me,
Yeah.
I love going to the farmer's market, picking out fresh produce.
Yeah.
It's such a sensory experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like seeing all the colors, smelling the fresh fruits and vegetables,
Yeah.
and then like cooking a meal with the ingredients I picked out myself.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy.
I love that. So it's like finding joy
Yeah.
in the everyday things,
Exactly.
appreciating the little things that make life special.
Right. Shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have.
Yeah.
And realizing that true happiness isn't about material possessions, but it's about the richness of our experiences
So well said.
and the connections we make along the way.
You know what? I think we should take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be right back with more insights on money and happiness. We're back, and I wanted to kind of dig into this a little bit more. This whole idea of like finding happiness without spending a ton of money. You know, like I think sometimes we get so caught up in like wanting the next big thing, but like real happiness comes from simpler things.
Totally. I think there's a lot of research about this, like this thing called the hedonic treadmill. Have you heard of that?
No, I don't think so.
So basically it means that like we get used to new things really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So like you get a new phone and you're really excited about it for like a week. And then it just becomes your regular phone.
Right.
And then you need something else to like excite you.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely fallen into that trap before.
Yeah.
Like I remember getting a new TV a few years ago and I was like so excited.
Mhm.
And then after a while it's just like, well,
This is my TV.
yeah, exactly. And what's interesting is that like research shows that experiences
Mm-hmm.
tend to make us happier than material possessions
Okay.
for longer.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's because experiences create memories and stories, and they often involve connecting with people, which boosts our happiness even more.
That makes sense. Like I still think about this trip I took to the Grand Canyon a couple of years ago.
And it was like such an amazing experience. And even just like thinking about it now
Yeah.
brings back like all these happy memories.
Exactly. You know, even though that trip is over, those memories and those positive feelings are still there. They still contribute to your happiness today. So
Yeah.
that's the power of experiences.
I totally get it. And I think we underestimate the power of like simple pleasures and experiences too.
Oh, yeah.
Like the other day I was feeling kind of down and I just like baked some bread.
Oh, nice.
And it was like so therapeutic to just like knead the dough and like smell it baking in the oven
Yes.
and then eating it. Warm, fresh bread.
The best.
Your joy.
It's about those little things in your everyday life that bring you joy and make you feel good.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things don't cost any money at all.
Right. Like the other day I went on a walk in the woods with my dog. It was so peaceful. And it just like felt good to be out in nature.
I love that. Yeah, nature's so good for like resetting
Golden.
your mind and your body. Mm-hmm. And it's free.
It is free.
We're so lucky to have so many parks and like natural areas.
Totally. Yeah. So it's not always about like spending money on big trips or fancy things.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the simple joys that are all around us and taking the time to appreciate them.
You know, it's funny because sometimes I feel like when I'm like focused on saving money or being frugal,
Yeah.
I actually end up enjoying myself more.
Really?
Yeah, like instead of going out to like a really expensive restaurant,
Yeah.
maybe I'll invite friends over and we'll like have a potluck.
Oh, fun.
And it's way more affordable.
Yeah.
And it's actually more fun because we're all cooking together and chatting.
That's a great example of how being mindful of your spending
Yeah.
can actually lead to more creative and like fulfilling experiences. It's not about limiting yourself. It's about finding new ways to have fun
Yeah.
that also align with like your financial goals.
Mm.
Totally. It's
Mhm.
about being resourceful and like finding ways to have fun without spending a ton of money.
Yeah.
Like instead of going to the movies, maybe you have a movie night at home with your friends.
Yes.
Or instead of buying those expensive concert tickets, maybe you go check out a local band at a smaller venue.
I love that. So many options
Yeah.
if you think outside the box a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not about like depriving yourself. It's about like finding creative and affordable ways to have fun and enjoy life.
Yes, exactly.
And like sometimes these experiences can end up being like even more meaningful and memorable than the expensive ones.
Yeah. It's about shifting our focus from quantity to quality. It's not about how much money you spend. It's about how much you enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most joyful experiences are the ones that are completely free. Like spending time with your loved ones, having deep conversations, sharing laughter. Those moments are priceless.
I could not agree more. Yeah, it's those human connections that like really make life rich.
They do.
And another thing I found that's really helpful in just like cultivating happiness is practicing gratitude.
Oh, yeah. Gratitude is so powerful. It's like a muscle you can strengthen
Okay.
with practice. The more we focus on like the good things in our lives, the more we appreciate what we have, the happier we're going to be.
Yeah, it's like changing your perspective,
Yeah.
right? Like instead of focusing on what you don't have,
Yeah.
you focus on what you're grateful for.
Yes.
And even on like those days when it feels like everything's going wrong, there's always something to be thankful for.
Exactly. Like even if I'm having a really stressful day,
Yeah.
I can still be grateful for like a warm cup of tea, a comfy bed, or like a funny text message from a friend.
Yeah.
It's about finding those little sparks of joy.
I love that. I actually started keeping a gratitude journal. Yeah, every night before bed, I write down like 3 things that I'm grateful for.
That's awesome.
And it doesn't have to be anything like big or profound.
Yeah.
Just like simple things that made me smile that day.
I love that. And you know what? There's research that shows that regularly practicing gratitude can actually improve your mental and physical health.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it can reduce stress, boost your immune system, and help you sleep better.
I didn't know that. So it's like, it's not just about feeling good.
Yeah.
It's actually good for you.
It's good for you.
Wow.
And it's something that anybody can do. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are.
Yeah.
You don't need any special tools or equipment. You just need like a willingness to focus on the good.
Yeah.
In your life.
I love that. So it's like a free and easy way to just like boost your happiness levels.
Exactly.
And another thing that I found helpful is like surrounding myself with positive people.
Oh, yeah.
Like people who lift you up and make you feel good about yourself.
The company we keep is so important.
Yeah.
The people we spend our time with have such a huge impact on our mood and like how we see the world. And if you're surrounded by people who are negative and always complaining, it's hard to stay positive yourself.
Right. Like negativity can be contagious almost.
It can be, but on the flip side, positivity can also be contagious.
Yeah.
So when you're around people who are optimistic and happy and upbeat,
Yeah.
it rubs off on you.
I completely agree. It's like that saying, you're the average of like the 5 people you spend the most time with.
It's so true.
So choose wisely.
Yeah, choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who support you, and who make you laugh.
And speaking of laughter,
Yes.
that is such a big part of happiness too.
Oh my gosh.
Like laughing releases endorphins, which have mood boosting and stress relieving effects.
It does.
So like watch a funny movie. Hang out with your hilarious friends.
Yeah.
Or just do something silly that makes you giggle.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's like a little mini vacation for your mind and body.
Totally.
And it's free.
It's free. Make sure you're getting your daily dose of laughter.
Yes.
I'm all for that. You know, this whole conversation has really made me think about, like, all the different ways
Yeah.
that we can cultivate happiness
Mm-hmm.
in our lives. And it's not always about, like, the big, expensive things.
Yeah.
It's really about those small, everyday moments of joy
Yeah.
and connection.
You got it. It's about appreciating the simple pleasures, practicing gratitude, nurturing our relationships,
Mm.
and taking care of ourselves, and remembering that happiness is a choice
Yeah.
we make every day.
Well said. And on that note, I mean, it's time for a quick break. We are back. And before we wrap up, I kind of wanted to go back to something we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this idea that when we're focused on, like, experiences and connections we actually like, spend less and have more fun.
Mm-hmm.
How can our listeners, like, put that into practice?
Yeah, I think it starts with just being more mindful
Yeah.
of what actually brings you joy,
Yeah.
and like making sure that your spending aligns with that.
Yeah.
So like, for example, if you know that spending time in nature really makes you happy,
Mm-hmm.
maybe prioritize that over like buying a new video game that you might get bored of really quickly.
Yeah. So it's like shifting your mindset from, like,
Yeah,
things to experiences.
exactly.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy expensive.
Right.
Like, instead of going to a movie theater, maybe you pack a picnic and go watch the sunset with friends. Or instead of buying like a fancy new outfit, maybe you take that cooking class you've been wanting to try.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So many good ideas.
Yeah.
It's about being creative,
Yeah.
thinking outside that, like, traditional spending box.
Absolutely. And you know, when you start to make those choices, you'll realize you're not only saving money, but you're also like filling your life with these really meaningful experiences.
Yeah.
That will make you happy for a lot longer.
I love that. So it's not about deprivation. It's just about, like, prioritizing the things that actually matter to you.
Exactly.
And sometimes that means saying no to some things.
Yeah.
So you could say yes to the things that bring you joy.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's about making those choices that like align with what's important to you and what you want your life to look like.
This has been such a great conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on, like, money and happiness.
I'm glad to hear that.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap up?
I would just say, remember that happiness is a journey.
Okay.
It's not a destination. It's about cultivating gratitude for what you have, taking care of yourself, nurturing your relationships, and finding joy in the simple things. And most importantly, it's about making choices that feel authentic and meaningful to you.
Beautifully said. I hope everyone listening feels empowered to, like, take some of these ideas and, like, you know, create a life that's full of experiences and connection and joy.
Yeah.
No matter, like, how much money they have in their bank account.
Totally.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today for this deep dive. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into all sorts of topics. We'll see you next time. Okay, guys, you won't believe what happened yesterday. I was reading after lunch, and I almost fell asleep.
Oh, no.
Like, totally zoned out.
That's,
Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially at work.
Yeah, right?
It can be hard to find the time and energy to read, that's for sure.
Right.
But that's actually perfect because today we're going to be doing a deep dive into some awesome advice from a conversation between two people who love to read, and they figured out how to make it work.
Nice.
Even with crazy busy lives. So if you want to learn how to make reading easier and more fun, stick around.
Yes, and hit that like button.
Okay, so one of the first things they talked about was how hard it is to actually find the time to read. One of them even said that they kept falling asleep reading during their lunch break.
I feel that. And also, even when you do find the time, it's like people just know when You're about to get into a good part, and
Mm.
then they come interrupt you.
All the time.
One of the things they talked about was audiobooks.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
when I first heard about audiobooks, I wasn't really sure about them. I thought, like, wouldn't I miss holding an actual book?
Mm-hmm.
And, aren't they expensive?
Yeah, no, those are totally valid points. But the other person in the conversation actually brought up some really great benefits
Okay.
about audiobooks. They said that listening to a book can actually feel kind of like a friend's telling you a story.
Ooh.
And plus, you can multitask while you listen.
Ooh, multitask. I like that.
Yeah, like, do housework or walk the dog.
Whoa, that's nice. Get two things done at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, like, you could, like, clean the kitchen and, like, enjoy a book at the same time. That's like
Oh,
a
really?
total win-win.
Totally. And for the cost thing, they had some ideas for that too. They said that using like a monthly subscription service.
Oh, yeah, those can be way cheaper than buying individual books. And did you know that a lot of libraries offer free audiobook apps?
Wait, really? I had no idea.
Yeah,
So I could be like listening to all these great books for free.
pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. What kind of books did they recommend for audiobook beginners?
Well, they suggested starting with shorter books,
Okay.
or maybe like a book that you've read before.
Ah, okay. So you kind of already know it.
Yeah, so it's easier to follow along.
Mm-hmm.
They also said you could slow down the narration speed if you need to.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes those narrators go so fast.
They do.
You get like keep up.
So yeah, slowing it down can help.
It's like dipping your toe in the water before, jumping into the deep end.
Exactly. Oh, and they said choosing books with simple stories and easy to understand language is good too.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
What if someone just prefers like real books though? Any advice for that?
Totally. They actually had some cool ideas for making reading an actual book more appealing. They talked about making yourself like a dedicated reading space, like a comfy spot.
Ooh, like a little nest.
Exactly.
I like that.
Like maybe with a nice bookmark and good lighting.
Mm-hmm.
You could even have like your favorite drink or snack nearby.
That sounds so relaxing.
Right.
It's like a little escape.
Totally.
It reminds me of this one time I tried to be all fancy, and read with a cup of tea.
Oh no. I know where this is going.
It did not end well. Let's just say the book got a little too close and, well, teased Dane.
Oh no.
Yeah, lesson learned. Keep the drinks far away from the books.
I bet. I feel like that's happened to everyone at some point.
Yeah.
So we've talked about ways to make reading more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But the big question is, how do we actually find the time to read?
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's like there's always something else you should be doing instead, like laundry or dishes or answering emails.
Right.
Do these two bookworms have any advice about finding time?
They did. They each had different strategies that worked for them. One of them liked to read a little bit before bed each night,
Okay.
and the other one was more of a morning person.
Mm-hmm.
And they liked to wake up early when it was still quiet
Yeah.
and read then. And then, of course, there's always the lunch break.
Oh, yeah, the lunch break. As we know, that could be a little iffy
It can.
with all the distractions.
Yeah, those chatty coworkers are always lurking.
I know. It's encouraging, though,
Mhm.
to hear that other people struggle with it, too.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it makes me feel less bad about my own, reading struggles.
Totally. And, they had this one idea
Yeah.
that I thought was super interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
They actually suggested reading and listening to the same book.
Wait, what? Like, at the same time?
No, not at the same time, but like doing both.
Oh, okay.
So like maybe reading a chapter and then listening to the audiobook version later.
I don't know. What's the point of doing both?
Well, they found that it really helped them to remember what they'd read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like getting a double dose of the story, so it kind of reinforces everything.
I see. So it's kind of like when you're studying for a test.
Yeah.
And you use like different methods
Exactly.
that helps the information stick better.
Right. It's like giving your brain a workout with different exercises.
So we've got audiobooks, cozy reading nooks, and now this double whammy of reading A&D listening.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like there are plenty of ways to fit reading into your life,
For sure.
even if you're busy. But what about, like, making reading more social? Did they talk about that at all?
Oh, absolutely. And this was one of my favorite parts. They were both really excited about the idea of starting a book club at work.
Ooh, a book club. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's such a fun way to connect with your coworkers
Yeah.
who also like to read.
And you could, like, share book recommendations and have, like, those fun book discussions.
Exactly.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might think reading is like, a solitary activity,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't have to be.
Right. It can be a great way to connect with people and build a community.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we've covered some awesome tips for making reading a part of your life,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're crazy busy. Audiobooks, cozy reading spots, even starting a book club.
It's all about finding what works for you.
Yeah, and not feeling like you have to do it all.
Definitely.
But before we wrap up this part of the deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a question to think about.
Interesting.
Okay, so they were talking about, all these different ways to make reading fun and engaging.
Uh-huh.
But I'm curious, what are your favorite ways to make reading enjoyable?
Oh, that's a great question. Like, do you have a favorite spot to read? A go-to drink? A special way of keeping track of your reading progress?
Yeah, we want to know. Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
More deep dives that'll make you the most interesting person at any party. They were talking about how sometimes it's not even about finding the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, like, actually getting your brain to focus.
Oh, tell me about it. Sometimes it feels like my brain just turns to mush.
Right. Like, especially after a long day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did they have any tips for, like, dealing with that?
They did. They mentioned something called active reading.
Active reading. Okay, I think I've heard of that, but
Yeah.
remind me what it is again?
Basically, it's about being more involved with what you're reading.
Okay.
Instead of just kind of like, skimming the words.
Yeah.
It's about thinking about what you're reading, asking yourself questions, and making
Right.
connections.
So, like, you're having a conversation with the book.
Exactly.
I like that.
And one of their suggestions for active reading was taking notes while you read.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like writing down the main points or interesting quotes.
Or even, like, your own reactions to what you're reading.
Exactly. And they also suggested highlighting important passages
Yeah.
or writing notes in the margins.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
But, of course, if it's a library book,
Oh.
maybe use sticky notes instead.
Yes. Don't want to get in trouble with the librarian.
Exactly.
They're very serious about their books.
But the main point is just to interact with what you're reading
Mm-hmm.
in whatever way works best for you.
All right.
Like, maybe it's underlining a sentence that really speaks to you,
Yeah.
or keeping a detailed reading journal.
Oh, yes. Some people are really into that.
Yeah. So we've talked about making reading more active, but what about making it more social?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. Because a lot of people think of reading as like a solo thing,
Totally.
but it doesn't have to be.
Not at all.
Okay.
And that was something these two readers were really passionate about.
Okay.
They loved sharing their love of reading
Mm-hmm.
and talking about books with other people.
Ooh, yeah, I love that.
So do you have any ideas
Yeah.
for how to do that?
Well, I mean, they talked about starting a book club,
They
right?
did. That's a great way to do it,
Yeah.
especially at work.
Yeah, it's a fun way to connect with people
Mm-hmm.
and also get introduced to new books
Totally.
that you maybe wouldn't have read otherwise.
And even if you don't have a book club,
Yeah.
you can still just chat with your friends
Oh, yeah.
or family about what you're reading.
Right, like recommend books to each other.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
even debate the ending.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun.
Yeah.
I love a good book debate.
So, I mean, sharing your love of reading with other people
Mhm.
can just make the whole experience
Yeah.
way more fun
Totally.
and rewarding.
And it's like you're adding another layer to the whole experience
Yeah.
by talking about it with somebody else.
Oh, for sure.
And it's interesting
Yeah.
because they even talked about how listening to the same audiobook
Mm-hmm.
as somebody else
Yeah.
can be a way to connect.
Oh, totally. You're
Wow.
sharing that experience.
Yeah, it's like, what do they call it? Like a listening party.
Yeah, like a listening party.
Yeah, where you all get together and listen to
Mhm.
a chapter or something.
I love that.
Right.
It's like a modern version of gathering around the radio.
Yes.
Right. You know, one thing that really stood out to me from their conversation
Yeah.
was how they talked about the power of reading
Okay.
to broaden your horizons.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Like, reading can expose you to so many new ideas and different cultures and
Yeah, it's like
ways of thinking.
a window into other worlds and other
Yeah.
people's lives.
Totally. And it can even help you understand yourself better.
Ooh, that's deep.
Right.
I like that.
Like, by seeing how other people deal with things,
Mm.
you can learn something about yourself.
So it's not just entertainment.
Yep.
It's also personal growth.
It is.
I love that.
And it's something you can do your whole life.
Yeah, that's true.
It never gets old.
Right, like you're never too old to pick up a book and learn something new.
Exactly. And there's just so many different kinds of books out there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
There's truly something for everyone.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about it. So did they have any advice on, like, choosing the right book?
They did.
Okay, good. Because that can be overwhelming sometimes.
Oh, totally. And their advice was really simple.
Okay, I like simple.
Just choose something you're genuinely interested in.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But sometimes it's easy to forget that.
I know. It's like you feel like you should be reading something,
Right.
but it's not really grabbing you.
Exactly. And honestly, it's okay to read like light books sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just need something easy and fun.
For sure. Like
Yeah.
a brain break.
Yeah, exactly.
And they also said to try out different genres
Mm-hmm.
and authors to see what you like.
Ooh, yeah, I love doing that.
You might discover something new.
I'm all about branching out and
Yeah.
trying new things.
And they had some great ideas for finding new books, too.
Okay, I'm listening.
Like, just browsing the bookstore.
Oh, yeah,
That's always fun.
I love doing that.
Or checking out book reviews online. Or asking for recommendations.
Oh, yeah, that's the best.
From people you trust.
It's like personal book recommendations are the best.
Totally. Like having your own little book curator.
Yes, exactly. And we can't forget about libraries.
Oh, right. The library.
Librarians are so helpful.
They are.
Like they know everything about books.
Seriously. They're like walking, talking book encyclopedias. Okay. So we talked about making reading more active, more social, choosing the right book. But now let's go back to that challenge of making it a habit.
Ooh, yeah, the big one.
Because it's easy to say we want to read more,
Yeah.
but then life gets in the way.
Ugh, life always getting in the way.
Right.
So how do we actually make it happen? Did they have any tips?
They did. Their biggest suggestion: set aside a specific time each day for reading. Even if it's just for like 15 or 20 minutes.
That seems doable.
Right. Like it doesn't have to be a huge chunk of time,
Yeah.
but make it part of your routine.
So it's like a date with yourself and a book.
Exactly.
Ooh, I like that.
And find a time that works for you.
Okay.
Like maybe first thing in the morning or during your lunch break.
Yeah.
Or even right before bed.
I'm definitely more of a before bed reader.
Yeah, me too. And they also said to make sure you have a comfy spot to read.
Oh, yeah. Ambiance is important.
It is.
Like, who wants to read in a dark, dingy corner?
Right. So make it inviting. Like light a candle, put on some music.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Make it a treat for yourself.
That's like a little reading sanctuary.
Exactly. And one last tip.
Okay.
Keep a book with you wherever you go.
Ooh, that's smart.
So you can sneak in a few pages whenever you have a free moment.
Like when you're waiting in line or
Yeah,
riding the bus.
totally.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today.
We have.
Active reading, making it social, making it a habit.
Mm-hmm.
But before we finish up,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay. I'm ready.
Think back to all the books you've read.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one that's really had an impact on you?
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
Like a book that really stayed with you.
It's amazing how powerful a book can be.
Right. Like it can change your perspective on things
Oh.
or inspire you or even make you see the world differently.
It's like it sticks with you long after you've finished it.
So, yeah, what's that book for you?
That's a good question to ponder.
Maybe our listeners can tell us
Yeah.
down in the comments.
Let us know.
And don't forget to like and subscribe
Yes.
for more deep dives. It'll make you
The most interesting person.
an interesting person.
At any party. It's crazy to think how one book can stay with you.
Right. Like it can change how you see things or even inspire you to do something different.
It's like they become a part of you.
Yeah, like a good friend.
You know,
Yeah.
who always gives good advice.
Exactly. And they're always there for you.
Right.
Just waiting on your bookshelf.
It's comforting to know you can always escape into a book.
Oh, yeah. No matter what's going on,
Yeah.
you can just open a book and find
Hmm.
some peace or some adventure.
It's a gift
It really is.
that we can give ourselves.
No matter what.
Yeah, and it reminds us we're not alone.
That's true.
There's so many stories out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they all connect us.
To something bigger.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, to all our listeners,
Mm-hmm.
embrace the joy of reading.
Pick up a book, get comfy,
Yeah.
and let the adventure begin.
Happy reading, everyone.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more deep dives just like this one. So, you know how everyone dreams about winning the lottery?
Yeah.
Well, I was at the store yesterday, just
Yeah.
doing my regular shopping,
Yeah.
and I saw this huge GE for the lottery. And I was like, oh man,
Oh, yeah.
what would I do if I won all that money?
It's funny how just seeing something like that can,
Cool.
spark that daydream.
Yeah.
Like, what would I do? What's possible?
Yeah. Like that feeling of freedom to do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
quit my job and never wake up at 6 a.m. again.
Exactly. It's that, escape from the daily grind
Totally.
that I think is so appealing to people.
Okay, so first thing.
Yeah.
Sleep in.
Yeah.
No more 6 a.m. alarms for me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But really, I'd probably start with something practical like
Oh, yeah.
buying a house for my parents.
Oh, that's nice.
They deserve it.
Oh.
And, maybe finally open that little cafe I've always talked
Like a
about.
cafe, yeah.
Yeah, like a place with comfort.
Into a reality.
Exactly.
But, even with a lottery win, you got to think about the practicalities.
Oh, for sure.
There's a lot more to it than just, good intentions.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too, because I remember when we were doing research for this,
Yeah.
we found that a lot of lottery winners
Mm-hmm.
actually end up losing all their money.
It's true. It's kind of a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Like that sudden wealth can be amazing, but it also comes with a whole new set of challenges.
Definitely, because, I don't even know where to start.
Right.
I'd need a whole team of financial advisors to keep me from messing things up.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
wise to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have good intentions, managing that much money requires some real expertise.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not as easy as just, spending it.
Totally. And speaking of spending it, one of my sources was talking about how they would travel the world.
Oh, nice.
Like Paris was at the top of their list. Yeah. And I get that.
Yeah.
Imagine all the amazing places you could go.
Absolutely. The experiences you could have.
Yeah. But here's something I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Even after winning millions, some people were still talking about using coupons
Really?
and shopping on sale.
Wow.
It's like those habits are just ingrained in us.
That's so fascinating. It's like that deeper connection to frugality,
Totally.
even when you don't need to worry about money anymore.
It's like you can take the person out of the bargain bin,
Haha, right.
but you can't take the bargain bin out of the person.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Makes you wonder what parts of us stay the same, even with a big change like that.
Totally. Okay, and this one was so sweet. One person said they would adopt a bunch of dogs from the shelter
Oh, wow.
and build them luxury dog houses.
Ah, that's so heartwarming. It's like they want to use that money to make a positive impact.
I know. And not just on their own life, but on the lives of those dogs.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
like winning isn't just about personal indulgence. It's about spreading that joy around.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's about making a difference in the world.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So it seems like these lottery dreams tell us a lot about our values and aspirations.
Very
It's
true.
not just about the money, but what you would do with it.
Totally. It's like a window into what people really want out of life.
Exactly. And it's interesting how a lot of those desires have to do with connecting with others, whether it's taking care of family, starting a business that brings people together,
Yeah.
or giving back to the community. It shows how important it is to feel like you belong.
It makes you realize that even if you won the lottery, you'd still want meaningful relationships and a sense of purpose.
Exactly. True fulfillment comes from finding joy in the everyday things,
Yeah.
nurturing your connections and doing things that give your life meaning.
I love that. Speaking of doing things, I really like that idea of someone opening a cafe.
Yeah,
It's such a classic dream.
it is.
But it shows how much people want to create something of their own, bring people together and share something they love.
It really does. It's that entrepreneurial spirit, that desire to leave your mark on the world.
Totally. And it's a good reminder that even ordinary things can be fulfilling if you're
Yeah.
passionate about them.
Absolutely.
And then there's the travel bug. Imagine all the places you could go if money was no object.
Oh,
It's like the ultimate freedom and adventure.
it
You
is.
could really broaden your horizons,
Mhm.
experience different cultures, and make memories that would last a lifetime.
Couldn't agree more.
I could already picture myself walking the streets of Paris, eating all the delicious food, and just soaking up all the art and history.
Or maybe relaxing on a beach in Hawaii, sipping a tropical drink.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Just listening to the waves.
Yeah, let's
It's
go.
amazing what's possible.
Seriously. And let's not forget about helping others.
Right.
A lot of people in our research talked about using their winnings to help people in need,
Yeah.
like supporting charities, funding research, or even just helping someone who's struggling.
That's really inspiring. It shows that when we have the means to make a difference, our compassion and generosity can really shine.
It does. And it shows that we understand we're all connected in some way.
Absolutely.
So it seems like these lottery dreams aren't just about the money. They're
Mhm.
about freedom, purpose, connection, and leaving a positive impact on the world.
I got it. It's a fascinating look into what people truly value,
It is.
both materially and emotionally.
And it makes you wonder, even if we never win the lottery, are there things we could do today to bring those dreams a little closer?
That's a great question. It's so easy to get lost in those what ifs.
Right.
But what about finding those little moments of joy and purpose in our everyday lives? It really makes you think, like, what would we actually prioritize if we didn't have to worry about money?
Right. It's like a challenge to think about what's really important to us.
Totally. Like maybe instead of dreaming about that big European vacation, we could plan a smaller trip somewhere closer to home.
Oh, yeah, like a weekend getaway.
Exactly. Or maybe we could spend more time on a hobby we love.
Yeah. Or reconnect with friends and family we haven't seen in a while.
Those are all great ideas. It's about finding those little things that bring us joy.
And maybe, just maybe, buying that lottery ticket every now and then is a way to keep that dream alive.
Yeah, it's okay to dream big and imagine a better future.
Totally.
And who knows, maybe those daydreams can inspire us to take action and make some of those things happen.
Even without winning the lottery.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to bring those dreams a little closer to reality.
I like that. So it seems like these lottery dreams can actually teach us a lot about ourselves,
They really can.
even if we never win.
Absolutely.
It's all about perspective.
Well said. And on that note, a huge thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into the world of lottery dreams.
We hope you enjoyed exploring these what-ifs with us.
And that it gave you some things to think about.
As always, we encourage you to keep the conversation going.
What are some things that bring you joy in your everyday life? What dreams are you working towards?
And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives like this one.
Until next time, keep dreaming big and remember to appreciate all the good things in your life.
See you next time.
It really is it makes you think about what's important, you know,
Yeah,
and how to find those things even without a huge windfall of cash.
totally.
Yeah,
Like maybe we don't need to wait for a lottery win to do some of those things. Like
exactly.
instead of that big European vacation,
Mm-hmm.
maybe plan a weekend trip somewhere closer.
Yeah. Or maybe it's about rediscovering a hobby.
Yeah. Or reaching out to friends and family you haven't talked to in a while.
Exactly. Like those little things can make a big difference.
And hey, maybe buying a lottery ticket every once in a while
Yeah,
can help keep that hope alive.
totally. It's a reminder that it's okay to dream big.
For sure.
And you never know, those daydreams might inspire us to make some of them a reality.
Even without the lottery win.
Exactly.
So it seems like these lottery dreams can be a good way to think about what really matters to us.
Absolutely.
It's not all about the money.
Right. It's about freedom, purpose, connection,
Yeah.
all those things that make life meaningful.
Well said. And on that note, a big thank you to our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into the world of lottery dreams.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed exploring these scenarios with us and that it gave you some food for thought.
What are some of the things that bring you joy in your everyday life?
What dreams are you working towards, big or small?
Let us know.
And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fun and insightful deep dives like this one.
Until next time, keep dreaming big.
See you later. Hey everyone, do you know what happened to me yesterday? I booked an Airbnb for my next trip. It got me thinking about all the things I've learned about using Airbnb over the years. So today, we're going on a deep dive into how to have a great first Airbnb experience. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into all sorts of cool stuff.
That's a great idea. A lot of people are trying Airbnb for the first time, and it can be a bit confusing.
It definitely can be. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Why would someone choose Airbnb over a hotel? What are the big advantages?
Well, one of the biggest reasons is cost. Airbnbs can be much cheaper than hotels, especially if you're staying for a while or traveling with a group.
Right, you get more space for your money, and you often have a whole kitchen too. I remember one time I stayed in an Airbnb in a mountain town with my family. We had so much fun cooking meals together in the evenings. It felt like a real home away from home. And it saved us a ton of money on eating out.
Exactly. Having a kitchen can make a huge difference, especially for families or people who have special dietary needs. It gives you so much more flexibility.
Plus, you often get to stay in cool neighborhoods where you can experience a city like a local. I love that about Airbnb. It's like you're getting a glimpse into someone else's life.
Absolutely. It's a totally different travel experience than staying in a generic hotel room.
But I have to admit, the first time I used Airbnb, I was a bit nervous. I wasn't sure what to expect. I think a lot of first-time users feel that way.
I understand. It's natural to have some jitters when you're trying something new, especially when it involves staying in someone else's home.
So how do you get past those first-timer nerves? What's the secret to finding a great Airbnb?
The key is to do your research and read the reviews carefully.
Reviews are so important. They can give you a real sense of what the place is like, what the host is like, and what to expect.
It's like having a friend who's already stayed there, giving you the inside scoop. They can tell you things that the listing might not mention, like whether the street is noisy at night or if the shower pressure is amazing.
And you can learn so much from reading between the lines, too. Like, if someone mentions that the Wi-Fi was a bit spotty, you know that might be an issue if you need to work remotely. Or if someone raves about how friendly the host was, that's a good sign that you'll have a positive experience.
That's a great point. It's not just about the overall star rating. You want to dig into the details and see what other guests are saying.
And don't just read the glowing 5-star reviews. Pay attention to the 4- and 3-star reviews, too. They often have the most helpful information because they'll point out both the good and the bad things about the place.
Exactly. Those reviews can be gold mines because they give you a more balanced perspective.
Okay, so we've talked about reviews. What else is important to consider when choosing an Airbnb?
Location. Location.
Oh, right. You can find amazing Airbnbs in all sorts of neighborhoods, but you need to make sure the location is right for you.
Think about what you want to be close to. Do you want to be in the heart of the action? Or do you prefer a quieter neighborhood? Do you need to be near public transportation? Is it important to have parking?
Those are all great things to think about. I learned my lesson about location the hard way. On one of my first Airbnb trips, I booked a charming little apartment in Paris, but I didn't realize it was miles away from any metro stations. I ended up spending a fortune on taxis.
That's a classic mistake. It's easy to get caught up in the beautiful photos and forget to check the practical details.
So true. Now I always zoom in on the map.
Yeah.
I make sure I understand exactly where the Airbnb is located in relation to the things I want to see and do.
That's a smart strategy. And speaking of being strategic, another important tip is to communicate with the host before you book.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I always send a quick message to the host, just to ask a few questions and get a sense of their communication style.
Exactly. It's a chance to see how responsive they are and whether they seem helpful and friendly. It can also be a good opportunity to clarify any details about the listing that you're not sure about.
I found that hosts are usually really happy to answer questions. They want to make sure you have a great stay, so they're often willing to go the extra mile to be helpful.
Absolutely. And if a host seems dismissive or unhelpful in their responses, that could be a red flag.
Good point. It's better to find out about potential issues before you book, rather than having a frustrating experience later on.
Speaking of potentially frustrating experiences, let's talk about check-in. Have you ever had any awkward or confusing check-in experiences?
Oh my gosh, yes. One time I booked an Airbnb in a rural area, and the host had left the key under a flower pot. But when I got there, it was pouring rain, and the flower pot had tipped over. The key was buried in the mud. I had to dig around in the dirt for ages before I finally found it. Not exactly the relaxing start to my vacation that I had hoped for.
Oh no, that sounds like a nightmare.
It wasn't ideal. Now I always make sure to ask the host for very clear and specific check-in instructions. Like exactly where is the key located? Is there a code for the lockbox? Do I need to call someone when I arrive?
It's always better to be over-prepared than under-prepared when it comes to check-in. It sets the tone for your whole stay.
Exactly. And once you're finally inside the Airbnb, you want to make sure you have everything you need. Right?
Absolutely. It's important to check what amenities are included. Things like towels, shampoo, a hairdryer, a coffee maker. Knowing what's provided can save you from packing unnecessary items or having to run to the store as soon as you arrive.
I once stayed at an Airbnb that didn't have a can opener. We were planning to make pasta with a jarred sauce.
Yeah.
And we had to get creative with a butter knife, let's just say. It wasn't the most elegant culinary experience.
That's those little things that you don't think about until you need them. I always double check the listing, see if there's a washer and dryer too, especially if I'm on a longer trip. It's so convenient to be able to do laundry.
Yes. And it can save you from having to pack a whole suitcase full of clothes.
Yeah.
So we've talked about choosing a great Airbnb, communicating with the host, having a smooth check-in, and making sure you have all the amenities you need. What's next?
Well, once you're settled in, it's important to remember that you're a guest in someone's home, so being a respectful and considerate guest is essential.
Right. It's not like staying in a hotel where you can kind of do your own thing and nobody really notices. In an Airbnb, you're sharing someone's space. So it's important to be mindful of their rules and their belongings.
Exactly. Things like following their house rules, keeping the noise down, and cleaning up after yourself are really important.
And if something breaks or you accidentally spill something, don't try to hide it. It's always better to let the host know right away so they can address the situation.
Definitely. Honesty and open communication are key to having a positive experience for both the guest and the host.
And speaking of positive experiences, those good vibes are what lead to those all-important good reviews.
Right.
We were talking earlier about how important reviews are when you're choosing an Airbnb. But they're also important once your stay is over.
Absolutely. Leaving a thoughtful and honest review helps other travelers make informed decisions. And it also lets the host know how they're doing and what they can improve.
So it's like a cycle of good karma. You rely on reviews to find a great Airbnb, and then you leave a review to help others. It's a win-win for everyone. It really is. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about why people choose Airbnb, how to find the right place, the importance of reviews, and communication with the host, and some tips for being a good guest. What else should people know, especially if they're new to Airbnb?
I think it's important to remember that Airbnb offers so much more than just apartments and houses. You can find all sorts of unique and interesting places to stay, like cabins, yurts, tree houses, even castles.
Ooh, a castle. That would be amazing.
Right. There's something for everyone, no matter what your budget or your travel style is.
It's like a whole world of possibilities opens up when you start exploring Airbnb. It's not just about finding a place to sleep. It's about having an experience.
Exactly. And it's a great way to discover hidden gems that you might not find otherwise. You can stay in local neighborhoods, meet interesting people, and get a real taste of what it's like to live in a different place.
It's like a little adventure, even if you're just traveling to a nearby city.
It definitely is. And as you get more comfortable with Airbnb, you can start to experiment with different types of stays. Maybe you'll try a farm stay, or a glamping trip, or even a houseboat.
Okay, I have to admit, that's making me a little less nervous and a lot more excited about booking my next Airbnb. It sounds like there's a whole world of cool experiences out there,
Yeah.
just waiting to be discovered.
There really is. And that's the beauty of Airbnb. It's a platform that encourages exploration, connection, and adventure.
So what's the big takeaway for our listeners who are thinking about taking the Airbnb plunge for the first time?
Don't be afraid to dive in. Embrace the possibilities. Do your research. Read those reviews carefully. And don't hesitate to communicate with your host. Most importantly, have fun.
That's great advice. And remember, you can find amazing Airbnb experiences all over the world, often at a fraction of the cost of a traditional hotel. You can cook your own meals, live like a local, and discover hidden gems you might never find otherwise.
It's a fantastic way to travel.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. For this deep dive into Airbnb, we covered a lot of ground today, from choosing the right place to being a good guest. Hopefully this has given you some helpful tips and insights to make your first Airbnb experience a great one.
And who knows, maybe it's inspired you to try something new and exciting on your next trip.
If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more deep dives into fascinating topics, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like. We'll be back soon with more insights, tips, and fun explorations. Until then, happy travels. Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more. So you know how electric cars are kind of a big deal these days? Well, something happened to me yesterday that I just got to tell you about.
Okay, I'm all ears.
I went to the store, and I swear, like every other car in the parking lot was a Tesla. It was crazy.
Wow, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot.
I know what you mean. It's kind of wild how many you see on the roads now.
It is. It really makes you wonder, like, why are there so many electric cars all of a sudden?
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons is gas prices, right? They've been going up and up, and electric cars, well, they don't use gas.
Yeah, that's a good point. It definitely helps your wallet.
For sure. And it's not just about saving money. A lot of people are choosing electric cars because they want to help the environment.
Yeah. Electric cars don't pollute the air like gas cars do.
Exactly. It's a much cleaner way to get around.
And on top of that, the technology is just so... Like, I saw this video online of a Tesla driving itself on the highway.
Oh, yeah, the autopilot feature.
Yeah, it's like something out of a movie.
It really is pretty futuristic.
It makes you wonder what they'll come up with next.
Right. But even with all the advancements, there are still some challenges with electric cars.
Like what? I'm curious.
Well, one of the main things is that you need to charge them up, and it's not as simple as just filling up your tank at a gas station.
Yeah, I've heard that charging can be a bit of a hassle.
Yeah, you need to find a charging station and wait for a while for the battery to charge.
And I've heard some people complaining about there not being enough charging stations around.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern in some areas, especially if you're going on a longer trip.
So what do you do if you live in an area without many charging stations?
Well, for one thing, you want to make sure you can charge at home.
Oh, right. So you don't always have to rely on public charging stations.
Exactly. And if you're renting an apartment or looking for a new office, you might even want to see if they have charging stations available.
That's a good tip.
And there are also apps that can help you find charging stations when you're out and about.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, technology really helps with a lot of these challenges. But, even with the apps and home charging, there are still some things to think about, like what happens in the winter?
Oh, yeah. I've heard that cold weather can affect electric car batteries.
Yeah, it's true. Batteries don't work as well in the cold, and you might not be able to drive as far on a single charge.
That's a good point, especially if you live somewhere with really cold winters.
Right. I have a friend who has an electric car, and he told me his range dropped significantly when it got cold out.
So what can you do about that? Do you just have to stay home when it's freezing?
Haha. Not necessarily. Some electric cars actually have features that let you preheat the battery while it's plugged in.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it helps to improve the range in cold weather, and it's actually more efficient than trying to warm up the battery while you're driving.
Huh. That's smart. So it's
Yeah.
like warming up your car engine on a cold day, but for the battery?
Exactly. It gets everything ready to go. So if you're thinking about getting an electric car, it's definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you live in a colder climate.
For sure. But, even with the cold weather challenges, there are just so many cool things about electric cars. Like, have you ever seen those self-parking features? They're mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. It's like magic, and then there's autopilot. I know, right? It's like the car can practically think for itself.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But I did hear a story from a friend who was using autopilot, and the car suddenly slammed on the brakes for no reason.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, it gave her a huge scare, she said.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess the technology isn't perfect yet.
I guess not. Still a work in progress.
For sure. But it is incredible how far it's come.
Absolutely. Makes you wonder what's next for electric cars. I mean, are we going to have flying cars soon or what?
Who knows? Maybe one day. But even without flying cars, there's still so much to be excited about. Like, have you seen those new electric trucks?
Oh, yeah, the ones that can tow like a ton of weight but are still super quiet.
Exactly. I saw one driving down the road the other day, and it was seriously impressive.
I bet.
It really makes you realize that electric vehicles aren't just for little city cars anymore.
Right. They're getting more and more powerful.
Exactly. And that's important because if we want to make a real difference for the environment, we need electric options for all types of vehicles.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The more people buy electric cars, trucks, and SUVs, the more companies will invest in making them even better.
For sure. It's kind of like a snowball effect, right?
Exactly. The more electric cars there are, the more charging stations we'll see, and then they'll become even more affordable.
Yeah, and then even more people will buy them and so on.
Right. It's a positive feedback loop, and it's why I think it's so important to support this whole transition to electric vehicles.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just think about it. If everyone switched to electric cars, we could really cut down on our reliance on fossil fuels.
Absolutely, and that would have a massive impact on climate change. I mean, it's not just about saving money on gas anymore. It's about making the planet healthier for everyone.
Yeah, you're right. It's about the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about creating a better future, and honestly, they're just really fun to drive.
Okay, now that's something I got to agree with. Have you ever driven an electric car?
Yeah, I rented one for a weekend trip a while back, and it was amazing.
I bet. What was it like?
It was so smooth and quiet. The acceleration was incredible, and you could actually hear the birds singing while driving. It was that quiet.
Wow, that sounds so peaceful.
It was. I think you should really consider getting one for your next car.
Yeah, you might be right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely starting to warm up to the idea.
I think you should go test drive a few different models. There are so many options out there these days.
Yeah, you're right. And who knows, maybe we'll even see those flying cars sooner than we think.
Haha, one can dream. But in the meantime, I think we can all agree that electric cars are pretty darn cool.
Absolutely. And hey, if you want to learn even more about this awesome world of electric vehicles, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yes, please do. We've got tons more to talk about on this topic.
It's kind of crazy to think about how much the auto industry has changed in just a few years.
I know, right? It wasn't that long ago that electric cars were seen as, like, this niche thing.
Yeah, it seemed like only the techie people were really into them back then.
Exactly. But now it feels like they're everywhere.
It really shows you how fast things can change.
It really does. It makes you wonder what's going to be the next big thing in transportation.
I know, right? Like, what's next? Are we all going to be flying around in spaceships?
Maybe. I mean, there are so many possibilities out there.
Yeah, like self-driving cars are getting more advanced all the time.
And there's a lot of research happening with alternative fuels like hydrogen.
It's definitely an exciting time to be following all this stuff.
For sure. And, one thing I find really interesting is how electric cars could change our cities.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, imagine a world where there's way less traffic noise and the air is cleaner.
That would be amazing.
Right. It would make cities so much more pleasant to live in.
And it would be healthier for everyone, too.
Exactly. Plus, think about all the space that's currently taken up by gas stations.
Yeah, what would we do with all that land if we didn't need it for gas anymore?
I know, right? It could be used for so many other things like parks or housing.
It's really mind-blowing to think about all the possibilities.
It really is. I mean, widespread electric car adoption could change so many aspects of our lives.
It's a total game changer.
Absolutely. And it's happening right now, which is pretty amazing.
So if anyone listening is still on the fence about electric cars, I'd say go test drive one.
Yes. And talk to people who own them. Do your research.
You might be surprised by how much you like it.
And remember, every little step we take towards a more sustainable future makes a difference.
Well said. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of electric cars.
We hope you enjoyed it.
If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful deep dives like this one.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.